We've already seen bullets and numbering in action, where you can take a list and assign a numbered list to it, so 1, 2, 3, I, or a picture, so a rectangle, a circle, a disc, as a bullet point at the beginning of each line. Now we need to look at the multi-level options within Word. Now we're going to take the Access Manual from your working folder, and on page 7 starts the section called Data Type, and all the data types are then listed. Now if I wanted these data types to become bulleted, I would simply select the list, so start at the beginning where auto number is, and go to the end here where it says don't create a bitmap image of the original file. So we select those options. On the paragraph settings for your home ribbon, the normal bullets are here, the numbered bullets are here, the multi-level bullets are here. Now if I choose a multi-level option, we can see that pre-built we have one which has a next level of A, next level of that as I, and 1.1, 1.11, 1.111, or there are even bulleted using images that have sub-levels. Now let's take the straightforward option of 1, then A's, then I, and apply that to our list. Now you can see that what it does is it numbers each item at the same level. But actually 2 here is not number 2 in our bullet list, it's a subsection of auto number. So if I want this to become the subsection of number 1, I simply place my cursor here and choose the indent option. Now we've used this previously to indent paragraphs, but here it will indent our list down to the next level. So if I click that, you can see that the 2 gets indented by a tab stop, but also moves down to the second level, so it becomes effectively 1A. And the 2 gets assigned to the next option, which is currency, where we have 3, which is holds data in money format, is actually a subsection of currency, so we can do the same again. Click at the beginning of the line and indent. We can do that for all of the second lines of each of these sections, so indent. So we took our list and told it to be a multi-level list, but then within that list, we have to do the indentation to tell each line which level of the list it sits at. So you see here we've got memo and field has no set length. This is a subsection of memo. So we click, indent, click and indent, click and indent. And you can see that as you indent a value, so it becomes a sub-value of the line above, the rest of the list gets renumbered. So that's a sub-value. 9 is actually a sub-value. 10 is a sub-value, so it becomes 9A. These lookup boxes here are a sub-value, and then attachment, this here is the sub-value, so if I go there and press return, Word assumes I'm at the same level, so it gives it a 12, but then I indent to knock it down to become a sub-value. So it's not just a matter of assigning the multi-level list properties to a list, you then have to indent to tell values at what level they're working. So for example here where we have yes, no, we have a sub-value of data can be assigned a true or a false value only. If I go to the end of there and return, I remain at the same level in my multi-level list, so I get a B, can be on/off. And then at the C value, I can add a third option, yes/no. Now if at any stage I need things to drop down to a third level, so if there is a subsection of a section, so I have, for example here, date time as a section, data is stored in date time format, press return and I get a B, so it's a subsection for 3B, date or time, return gives me a C, but actually I'm wanting to enter a sub-level value, then I can indent again and I go down to I. So in this case, the list type that I've chosen uses numbers for the first level, letters for the second level, and then Roman numerals for the third level. Date or time can be date, time, or both. Now once you have a list using the multi-level list options, you can change its style at any stage simply by reselecting the list, going to the drop list for the multi-level and choosing a different style. So I could choose this style here, which is not very exciting, but it's a style. And that way we get 1, 1.1, 2, 2.1. The 3 is the one where we'll see it in action for a real. 3 becomes 3.1, 3.2 as a sub point. And then the sub points here become 3.21, 3.22, 3.23. So I'm indenting 3 and then indenting 2 and then the subpoints become 1, 2, 3 of that. If you're not keen on that particular style, then we go back to the list, options, and choose perhaps just a normal bulleted list where each level has a different icon. So you can see the little diamond is the top level, the arrow is the second, and then the square rectangles is the third level. Notice also that time that I didn't highlight the list. If you highlight nothing, but just exist in the list, so your cursor is flashing, then anything you do here at the multi-level options will affect the whole list. Now the other 4 choices here are all working with list options as styles, which is not what we're after. We're just after different list options. And we have 1, 2, 3 and none as the choices. Whichever one we choose is one we're left with. Let's go back to our original. But once you've given a list the propensity to be a multi-level list, you can then indent any level using the indent icon. If you happen to indent too far and you feel a value should actually be up a level, you simply click into that value and outdent. And you can see there that time gets brought up to be a level with these, so it becomes C, and the 2 sub-values are now I for B and I for C. You can even outdent further, so time becomes a data type 4, and the others get renumbered. So everything responds, everything's automated. Let's just indent that back to where it belongs. The stages are, firstly, give the list the propensity to be a multi-level list, and then secondly, we indent to make it read and make sense.